Hey guys, it's Dana with Hydro Hippie, and pull up a chair, my plant family, because class is in session. And today we are going to be learning about philodendrons, which happens to be Garden Center's houseplant of the year for 2024, which excites me because it happens to be my favorite kind of plants. So the highlight this year from garden centers and most garden centers like your large box stores and stuff, you're gonna see a lot of philodendrons coming out this year, which really excites me. So we're gonna go over some really cool facts about philodendrons and some things that'll help you make sure that your little plant babies at home are thriving. Okay, so philodendron is the genus of approximately 450 different plants. So 450 different, plants fall under that title of philodendron. And they actually happen to be an herb. And they are a climbing vine, and they are epiphytic plants. What is an epiphyte? That is a plant that roots itself and grows on another plant like a tree in the rainforest or jungle. Now, philodendrons are native to the American continent, the Americas, which is, I believe, one of the reasons why they're so popular and easy to come by is because they live right over in our neighborhood, right? So a really interesting fact is, and will help you with your plant care, philodendrons, when they start their life as seedlings, are not growing towards the sun. Baby seedling philodendrons actually happen to grow towards trees and things like that to start their climbing nature. So when you have a brand new baby philodendron in your house, they're not necessarily growing towards the sunlight as much as they are growing towards like your moss pole or your support. And the reason they do that is in their nature, there's not a high sunlight area for them, right? Because they're living under the canopy of all the trees in the rainforest. So they're attracted to grow towards something that will support them to climb. And that's why as you have your philodendrons climbing up your support, moss pole or whatever, they start to grow to maturity. Because once they attach themselves and become an epiphyte, which again is a plant that is living attached to a tree, that is when they start to mature, their leaves get larger, and then they're trying to find their way up to the sunlight. And as we know, nice, large, healthy leaves are what provides that nutrition to the plant through photosynthesis. So that sunlight contacting the chlorophyll in the plant's leaves are performing something called the Krebs cycle, which takes that energy from the sun and turns it into glucose, which supports the plant's growth. So these lower light conditions that these plants start growing in is one of the reasons why they do so well as a house plant in your home, because the lower light conditions that we have happens to be something that's native to them when they start their life cycle. Now, as these plants grow up, the support that they are on, oftentimes their stem will actually die off, and that root system at the base of the plant is no longer their primary means of survival. Again, their roots are actually modified to help them attach to the tree, or as you see in your moss pole, they grow into that moss pole and branch out, and that's where they start to get their primary water and nutrition, well, not nutrition, but their water from, their support for them to continue growing. Now, as we all know, philodendrons come in very different variants. You have your classic green leaves. They also come in copper, purple, with the yellow, with the variegation. Although for most plants, the variegation itself is not natural. Most times it's really a genetic mutation that, because we like it, we end up taking cuttings of and cultivating into a new form of plant. So while the philodendron is living in its epiphytic nature, it's actually considered to be a hemi-epiphyte. That's because it is not completely supported by the tree, unlike an orchid. If these guys end up having less than perfect conditions where they are living on the tree, they do drop those aerial roots down. Like I talk about with the hydroponic plants, a taproot style, where they will drop those aerial roots down to the ground because their stem is severed at that point, and they will taproot down into a water reservoir somewhere for them to start sucking up all that moisture. So, I mean, that's all about philodendrons. If you guys have any questions or input, please drop it below or stitch with your experiences with your philodendrons. This one here is the painted lady. She is beautiful. As you can see, she is variegated, lovely red stems that contrast, or petioles, that contrast the foliage here, which you see has that nice yellow variegation. So this one is really nice for adding a pop of color to your indoor jungle. But again, some of the most important things to take from this is providing support for your philodendron does help facilitate mature leaf growth. And again, the reason for that is as it grows up the tree, that allows it to perform its nature of seeking out large amount of sunlight. Whereas when you have the immature version of your philodendron, what's really motivating it to grow is growing towards the support that it's looking for. So with your heartleaf philodendrons and your micans and all of those vining plants that, you know, most garden centers will put out as vining plants, really what they're doing is they're looking to climb something, and once they start to climb, those leaves will mature, like the Cebu blue. They're actually fenestrated plants, but once you get them to climb something, even your pothos is a fenestrated plant. So once they start to climb and they're supported, that allows them to start to grow into maturity, where you get these really amazing different leaf shapes and sizes. So I hope you enjoyed today's little class. Give me a follow for more educational content like this. I'll probably just do like Education Fridays, but I thought we would have a lot of fun right now just highlighting again the philodendron, which was voted in as 2024's Houseplant of the Year by Garden Center. All right, guys, I'll see you later. Have a great day. And if you're anywhere in my area, Baltimore, Mid-Atlantic, enjoy the snow that's falling right now. It is time for some hot cocoa.